How's it going, everybody? Winter Kills here, and welcome to another top replays and highlights series. Yes, the series where I go over some of the best replays from my stream over the past few weeks, as well as possibly a few user submitted replays from some of my Twitch subscribers. Link to my Twitch down in the description below. But last time I had a few, I think I had one D2D replay, but I think I've got a couple more this time around. Some more Block Dragon BA, some more Photon Galaxy, as those have been the main decks that I've been focusing on as of late. Gonna try to focus a bit more on Mermail a little bit later on. I'm still working on doing some IRL content for a lot of Master Rule 5 decks, so we will be getting some Mermail replays very, very soon. But in the meantime, got some really cool replays to show you guys here nonetheless. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first one, called Can't Stop the Block, against my good friend Xylence. He also streams on Twitch, so check him out as well. Alright, so this replay here, of course, as by the title you might have guessed, is with Block Dragon BA against the new Orcust Mech Knight deck. As you can see, the simple ability to be able to search out Mech Knight Orcust Girsu with cards like Blue Sky and Purple Nightfall make this deck uber consistent. And definitely makes it an extremely viable going second deck, especially when splashing in that Mech Knight engine. But when you take into account, just the sheer power of the Orcust engine and how that plays in with going first, it seems like this deck really doesn't have a weakness going forward, and that's why I really hope it gets checked by the ban list in some way, shape, or form. But as you can see, his opening hand is pretty good. And I believe I get started here, end up milling the Graph off the Gallus. He's going to have the Ash for that immediately, but I say, you know what, that's fine. I'm just going to get the Seer out of my hand anyways. I don't need it to go from the deck at all. Then following up into Cherubini, dumping Rhino Warrior to dump the Edgem Sabers. We're going to mill 3, hitting that O-Lion, of course, that I did end up stacking. And then I've got to go for the Nightmare Cerberus play here. This is a bit of a backup play, and really isn't the play that I'm always keen on going for, simply because I had some subpar mills off the Dante and didn't really have the best opening hand, and just got unlucky and didn't open up any more level 3 extenders. As you can see in this build, I'm trying out Gilasaurus and multiple copies of the Tracker and Wielder, and I've actually been kind of enjoying that because Gilasaurus going first is pretty much always live, and who really cares at the end of the day if you give them an Ash Blossom and Joy springing out of their graveyard. And I bumped up the copies of both Wielder and Tracker, specifically because I wanted to increase my chances of drawing those cards off of things like Yugioh, just because I felt like I was just lacking later on in the game more level 3 extenders, and I kept drawing into dangers when they were seemingly more awkward after I've already resolved the search effect of Block Dragon, making me not want to use the dangers at the cost of losing the Fossil Dine in my hand, and then from there obviously having to try to set up and coordinate a Leviair play, which is a bit difficult. So continuing on, he has and just draws the engage for turn, which is absolutely insane. So blowing my back out a bit here with the impermanence, I'm still able to chain, dump the Dante, and also dump that Block Dragon to the grave, which I desperately need. He goes first here and, of course, sends the Harpoor, summons himself out a Sky Striker token, of course, off the engage. Battle phase, clearing the threat that is the Appaloosa, of course, no longer a threat. Setting the engage after re-adding it back, going for Blue Sky for purple here, and then using Orcust, Harpoor, going into Galatea, Nightmare for the, Morningstar rather, for the free interruption. Of course, we know how good that is with Mech Knights, the World Legacy Secret, such a strong card. And then going into the Predaplant, Vert Anaconda for the Dragoon of Red Eyes. So, just taking a look at his graveyard here, Dingirsu with the Orcust Nightmare, and the field spell up with the Climax. Now, I do recall my friend Xylence, he said he did make a slight mistake when it came to sort of setting up this board. Obviously, one major thing you can sort of notice as of now, the Climax is not live, but of course, he could very well make it live using this Nightmare if he decided he wanted to dump a Symbol Skeleton, whether it be to bring out the Galatea, to also be able to provide a negate, and also recycle that World Wand back into the deck for a card like Orchestrated Return, and things like that. So I do have to worry about this Dragoon of Red Eyes, because for those of you that don't know what this card is, the card that is simply terraforming the meta, at least in the OCG, Neither player can target or destroy this card with card effects. During your main phase, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the monster's original attack. Then its other effect is you can use this effect a number of times a turn, up to the number of normal monsters used as fusion material. So if you use multiple normal monsters for the fusion material, you can use that effect multiple times. Other effect is once per turn when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can discard one card and negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card, and if you do, this card gains 1,000 attack, putting up to 4k. So it could be pretty hard to get over. But I start with the faithful block dragon, and then go right into the Destrudo, into the Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. Of course, he's going to chain Nightmare in response as he sees a threat incoming. And I'm going to try to combo a bit here, use the Phoenix to get the Seer out of my hand to be able to remove the Babble, so he cannot use any more Orcus effects this turn, even though he's already got the Symbol Skeleton play through. He's going to be able to send off the BLS before I can get anything done with that. Able to clear that Morning Star and go into the battle phase and just sort of go for the classic OTK here with Boral Sword, thanks to Block Dragon providing tons of link material in the process. So somehow managing to be able to break that extremely good board. Although I think he could have probably set up a bit of a better field, still pretty impressive to go through nonetheless. Alright, so this next replay is aptly titled Almost Punted It, because I definitely did almost throw this game by making it might have been a misclick as well. This was also a game from the very end of my stream, so I was just trying some experimental things out and trying to pull off a play that I've been wanting to try to pull off with DDD for quite some time, and that is going for the Hot Red King Calamity, which you can see here in my extra deck. You can make this on your opponent's turn thanks to Needle Fiber, and it has this very crucial effect that says when this card is Synchro Summoned, you can activate this effect. For the rest of this turn, your opponent can activate cards. Also, cards your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. So, making it so your opponent cannot activate cards, or the cards they control cannot activate their effects, seems pretty good, if you ask me. Now, I do have to make a bit of a weird board to be able to set it up. As you can see in his hand, he has the Nuclear Emperor New Gizmet card, as well as plenty of Mech Knights, Into the Void, and Allure of Darkness, getting me into a bit of a better and workable hand. Also being able to see cards like Ragnarok. And then going here to use the Genghis early to be able to go into that Needle Fiber with Slime and Lamia, then synchroing into the Borlode Savage Dragon to give me that Dark Synchro Dragon that I need to be able to make the Hot Red Calamity. He starts with Pinpoint Landing. I chain immediately into the Shooting Riser Dragon, which I have to use his Send effect to be able to drop him down to a level 3 so I can synchro into level 12. He's going to normal Mech Knight Girsu, and Mech Knight Girsu is going to dump the Trap card and, of course, summon out the tokens here. Now, one reason he is dumping World Legacy Communion is so that he can basically summon from his deck and face down defense position the Dos Ex Crawler, which is actually a really good stun sort of control option to be able to take advantage of from using this card like Mech Knight Orcus Girsu, because it can send any Orcus card, but also any World Legacy card from your deck. So it opens up a whole realm of possibilities here. So I synchro for the Hot Red Dragon Calamity here, and does come in clutch to sort of slow down some plays, as actually, like, I'm not really sure, like, if it might not have been the best idea to go for this, but that's not really why I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it simply because I wanted to test whether or not Hot Red would miss timing, because it is a when effect, so you need to sort of not activate it in response to an effect or something that starts a chain. So it's very finicky on how to get that effect to activate during your opponent's turn. So, of course, he will end his turn there. I'm going to flip up the contract that I had set from last turn to not lose to the end of the void. And then I go ahead and summon out the Chaos King Apocalypse, using Ghost to recycle cards. And then I go ahead and synchro into the Siegfried here, and then link into Cloth Heap. Cloth Heap is going to allow me to open up a zone, of course, but be able to use its effect to bring back the Copernicus off the summon of the Executive Flame King Genghis, and then also be able to bring back another card here. Could have made another synchro if I really wanted to, but I'm just putting bodies on board at this point. And then going into the battle phase and clearing a bunch of cards. He's taking half damage because of the effect of Ragnarok in the scale, something I really didn't foresee. And again, could have played this out much, much better. That's why the title of this replay is Almost Punted the Game. He's going to start doing some Mech Knight plays here. Double Phantasme in his hand. Probably not doing him too good. Tries to follow up with another Orcus Girsu. I'm going to say no to that immediately with a Call by the Grave. He's going to respond, though, by going into Dingirsu, sending away the Siegfried, and then using Mind Control to take away my Hot Red Calamity and start to clear my board with everything else. Now, this is where the biggest mistake comes into play here. I take the 1,000 from the contract, search the Kepler. Kepler is going to go grab me, I believe, the Fusion spell here. And he's going to try to use the World Legacy Secrets. Genghis is going to be able to negate that, which is clutch. Get me another Spell Trap negate on the board. Also using Ragnarok here in Grave to be able to, you know, bring out the Lamia. And then, of course, bringing out the Genghis and things like that. Going for the Meteor Burst Dragon now, going into Hot Red. Or not Hot Red, rather, but the effect, not the effect, but number 38. And then I also synchro into the Crystal Wing, which is good, but I make a massive mistake here. For some reason in my head, I thought that attacking over this would allow me to get the attack boost from Crystal Wing, but he is not a level 5 or higher. I completely forgot about that. When I should have attacked over the Morningstar, because this is the only card I currently control that can get over Morningstar, at least any other Mech Knights he controls, because I have to attack, you know, in the same column that his Mech Knights are in. So I attack over the Girsu. I'm like, oh, I just screwed up big time. That's why you just saw me randomly negate the key, and I pass it over to him. So essentially, with the low life points that I currently have, I don't want to give him another turn, but thankfully, I didn't scoop because I still have the number 38. And he really can't do anything about it right now because he has to, you know, crash one of his monsters essentially into this to be able to attack over this, something like the Morningstar for 2,000, which is not enough. And if he tries to attack over this first, you know, with the in the purple, I can just redirect and let the other one go through. But he goes ahead and links into the Mech Knight Spectrum Supreme and then summons out purple, or indigo rather, to slide it over into a column where nothing else is in. Tries to be sneaky there and steal the game, but number 38 says otherwise, and he's going to go ahead and scoop there. So that game grinded out a little longer than it should have, to be honest, but it definitely was still an interesting match. So we'll go ahead and check out the next replay here. I didn't have that many Mermail replays, but here's one I have from a couple of days ago. This one titled Mermail Fun. Again, we are playing here in Master Rule 5. So trying to take advantage and play of that fact and play a more rank 4 heavy build. Resolving the Moray of Greed here, summoning out the Lapis Dragon that I got very lucky to draw off of it. Diva plays going through Teus Dragoons, all this really, really good Mermail comboing that we all know and love. Going into Cloth Heap now, which I still think is a fantastic extender to have in this deck. Allowing me to basically get a free Bahamut Shark and Toad, resolving the Dragoons, linking into Alacia, summon Mooling Glacia, knocking 2 out of his hands. I make a Boral Sword because I just need the room to be able to revive off of this Prince and also get the Mizuchi in the process from the Megalo and make a Dweller and just equip the Mizuchi right then and there. So just a really incredibly strong hand playing out there, able to stop him dead in his tracks, playing the new Space-Time Transcendence, of course, which the Mizuchi would be able to negate, and a pretty commanding win there on behalf of Mermail, so not too shabby. So this next replay here is titled Afterglow OTK, and for good reasons. We're going to be playing against Shadal's, of course, in the Master Rule 5 rule set. Shadal's with the new support as well. Cannot wait to play this deck also once the structure's released. The trade-in does get hit with an Ash, but luckily I've got the Pot of Desires to follow up. Before I go any further, Thrasher coming in clutch to help make the Vanisher live. Orbital being a major part of this combo sequence as well. Galaxy Soldier discarding the Galaxy Eyes, getting me Knight. Going up into number 90, Blast Dragon. Following up with the Expedition to go lastly into the Cyber Dragon Infinity. So a pretty solid board here if you ask me. He's going to start with a Shadal Fusion. Infinity is going to negate. Number 90 is going to search. And, of course, Blast Dragon is going to bring back a Galaxy Eyes from my grave or banish for free. Since I did negate the activation of Shadal Fusion, I'll be able to activate another copy because it technically wasn't activated. So we'll be able to fuse from deck again, or at least try to. Goes into the construct, uses the new Shadal Trap to immediately bounce or make live his Shadal Dragon. Try to bounce the card back, but I'm able to negate. Construct is able to clear the Infinity no problem, and he's going to go into the Predaplant link here in main phase 2 and be able to Super Poly essentially into a Starving Venom, which is pretty solid. And I'm going to go now to start my turn with the Galaxy Knight. He's going to chain the El Shaddai fusion and start resolving the Falco here. And then, of course, the effect of the Construct to dump the Wendy. Try and use that effect to summon one from deck. I'm going to go ahead and negate, summon out the Vanisher here just to get into Soul Flare, and then be able to link into the Union Carrier to get me none other than Galaxy Eyes Afterglow through the Orbital, and just go into number 62 and summon this Galaxy Eyes from my hand, be able to double the attack of this number monster, all the way up to 11,200 to swing for absolute game. So, pretty cool replay there, showing off the absolute power of Afterglow Dragon. Alright, so this next replay I have here is titled Lancia is Trash. Now, of course, Lancia isn't trash, but just wanted to show a replay of Block Dragon BA being able to play through that dreaded, pesky Artifact Lancia, playing against the Abyss Actors also, which is very interesting. So, summon the Gizmek here in the end phase. He's going to go ahead and shotgun the Lancia as soon as I reveal the Sneck. And no big deal. The Danger's putting in plenty of work there. Livic using his effect to bring out the Graph summoning Seer. And then dumping the Sea Archiver since I've already done the Graph Seer combo. And then using the extra monsters I have to go up into the Curious. Dumping that Glow-Up Bulb to the Graveyard. Sided deck Pankratops are in there as well. And you can see him also in this build trying out the Terrortop engine, which I have since dropped because it just is not consistent as, you know, nearly enough in my opinion. But able to go into the Borrelsword Dragon here with Dante and Curious and just completely blowing this man's back out with everything else, not even needing the Block Dragon to begin with, having game aplenty there. So, alright, so the last replay I'm going to show you guys in this video is titled DDD versus Orcus. This is just a standard match of me pulling off somewhat okay combo with DDD. Still not 100%, of course. Definitely could be better, but I'm actually starting feeling a bit more confident in my DDD plays as opposed to a couple weeks ago. I just feel like I just couldn't combo my way out of a paper bag. Definitely feeling better, though, so that's absolutely amazing. Going into Needle Fiber, then following up swiftly into Gilgamesh, using Ghost to dump that extra Necro Slime to the grave as extra fusion material. Getting Chaos King Apocalypse and Ragnarok from the main deck feels so good. Then being able to go into that High Wave King Caesar, using the Chaos King Apocalypse to be able to easily synchro into the Siegfried. And this Ghost here, I feel like if I would have sequenced my plays a bit, this could have been a Kepler, which would have allowed me to synchro into the Savage Dragon on my opponent's turn, but I could have possibly messed that up as well. So technically could have been another interruption on top of everything we have here. But I also end up chaining my Needle Fiber in response to this, which I should not have done because it makes my formula miss timing, which is obviously not the goal that I wanted to have there. He goes to use the Brass Bombard. I negate with Wave, and then he tries to use Harp Horror, and I also negate with Wave. I don't think my opponent realized that his effect is, of course, not once per turn. You can use it as many times as you have materials to do so. And with no other way to complete his Orcus Link, he's going to go ahead and scoop there and easily taking that game 100%. So that is going to do it for those. That is going to do it for those replays there. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll quickly run through my current list. This is my current Block Dragon BA list here. This is my current Photon Galaxy Master Rule 5 version, featuring some cards that, of course, we don't know when they'll be out, but once those cards are out, this is probably what my list would look like 100%. My current DDD list, really liking the Into the Voids as of late. Playing only these 3 links, as I feel like they're really the only 3 links that are necessary, in my opinion. Playing, of course, the 2 Needle Fiber targets. Side deck primarily for just going second. And then the Mermail MR5 list right here as well. Playing 3 copies of the Deep Sea Aria, of course. The Ravenous Crocosaur is such an incredible card here. Haven't had a chance to test the Adamastia Synchro in here. Probably will get around to doing that at some point. So, yeah. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And, yeah, don't forget to check out Discord, check out Imperium Duelist, and use my affiliate link to TCG Player down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.